As you can see, if you're watching, if you're listening, you can't see them. But if you're watching, you can see I have two of the stars of our fun show, When Hope Calls, or as they put it, Brookfield, a When Hope Calls story. The show has concluded its second season, and I'm so happy to have the two people on towards the top of the call sheet here with me. She plays Nora. He plays Michael Fletcher, and also has a nickname on the show. It's Cindy Busby and Christopher Russell. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
How you
Thanks for
doing?
having us. Great
We're already
intro.
laughing already off camera and just having a good time already. With all wheat fields and plants and sparkling water. I love it. It's because it's funny because we see you guys in period costume. So it always makes it, I makes it like, yeah, these are regular actors in today. Um,
Yeah.
are you used to the period costume? I'll start with you, Cindy, especially. Are you used to the period costume?
I mean, not initially. I've done, a couple period pieces in the past, but this particular look with the petticoat and the long skirt and the many layers and the shoes specifically that weren't extremely comfortable. They got more and more comfortable as we went on. But you know what? I did get used to it. Like it felt right when I was in the Nora vibe to be dressed that way. It really helps complete the character. You do all of your work ahead of time and then you walk on set and you see all these incredible sets of it's like you just took a time machine and now you're all dressed up and your hair and makeup is done and it definitely helps to create the world and the reality of the show. So, yeah, I mean, I'm wearing 1920s dresses in my life today. It's
A
beautiful.
Zumba, right? Yeah.
Just Zumba.
I'd pay to see that. And
Yeah,
Zumba has like these long skirt, long flowing
that's
dresses.
right. Yeah, it's huge.
And
Do
so
people still do Zumba? Asking for a friend. Sorry.
they do still. It may not be talked about as much, but I know folks who do it still
Yeah.
do it. The whole dancing thing. But Christopher, you get to do like, most of us boys growing up like, uniforms, that kind of stuff. You get to do that as a Mountie. So is it fun for you?
Oh, absolutely. I when I was younger, there's a show called Due South where
Yes.
yeah, you remember? So Paul Gross played
Yeah.
a modern day Mountie on that, but he's still wearing the
I love
outfit.
this
And
show.
then he teamed up with an American detective,
Yep.
and it was a lot of fun watching that when I was younger. And yeah, to have an opportunity to not only play a Mountie, which is a very iconic symbol of all things Canadian that are righteous and honorable, but also to be able to portray a Mountie in the 1920s,
Hmm.
it's just a dream come true. Was the outfit initially an issue for my quality of life? Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Did I adjust? Absolutely. And
Yeah, as one does.
did I come to love it? I did. In fact, it got to the point where I didn't even like because a lot of the times they'll offer if you've got maybe 20 minutes between takes or setups or whatever's happening to take part of the uniform off so you could be more comfortable. And I declined. It's like, no, I'll keep it on. I'm enjoying this. I got used to it. And it definitely, Cindy and I have talked about this before, like wearing these costumes that they're not even costumes, really. They're just like, they feel like just authentic,
Yeah.
really helps inform more subtle nuances of the character that you wouldn't necessarily have if they weren't so specific. So I would find as soon as I put that uniform on, Chris Russell would be out the window and Michael Fletcher would show up.
Yeah.
And then, like Cindy was saying, when you get to the set that is basically an actual town, the way they built
Yeah,
it.
already set up. You got already set it up. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone else is all dressed up like the 1920s, and
Yeah.
all the other actors are bringing their A game. It's like, hold on, am I making a show or did I just like go through a time capsule?
Take a DeLorean to the
Yeah.
8 miles an hour and let's go.
That's good. I like that. That's good. I like that. Oh my god. Well, I mean, that's the thing because we know these sets are set up like a real town. Like seriously,
Oh
like
yeah. Yeah.
people don't realize that they're set up like a real. So you get the authenticity. Because you go to a lot of sets, it's just they're in a building somewhere
Yeah.
the only one side, everything
Yeah,
like
absolutely. I was on a show where they built a whole town, except on the other side of every storefront was nothing.
Yeah.
It was like
right.
this, you can actually go into the hotel and it's
Yeah.
a hotel, you
Yeah,
know?
it's a functioning set. So it was really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, every storefront and everything there has an interior that's also fully completed.
So you guys really do film inside when you're eating the food, or it's really there's a counter, there is tables,
Yeah.
cameras are around doing all the filming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. I want to ask you, Cindy, first. Well, before I ask Chris first, because he actually said something I'm going to lead into. Season episode 5, we had a piece of action. I mean, they
Yes.
threw a gun at you, a knife at you. There was a dog nearby. The kitchen sink was probably next. But so you said you were in that uniform. So how was doing that action sequence? Obviously, in the uniform.
You know what? Fine. I mean, I thought it would be a little more difficult and I'd be more self-conscious about maybe, ripping an armpit or something. But like with everything with the show, once you're on set and once they call action, it's like everything is out the window. And at the risk of sounding like I'm coming down with a mental disorder, I genuinely believed I was Michael Fletcher in 1920 taking down this armed
Okay.
criminal. So I moved quite well.
Yeah,
They kind of roll and because she was standing by with the dog, but you kind of
Yeah.
had stuff. But I was like, but so you must have had a stunt coordinator, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, that must have been
Yeah, so this there was a stunt guy for the other character,
yeah, the prospector
the
Smith.
prospector, yeah. So he helped a lot to sell a lot of the motions. Like he really, he would after each take, he'd be like, You can throw me harder. Like it would actually help me if you threw me harder." Like,
I
okay,
remember him saying that.
yeah.
Totally.
So it got to the point where where he points the gun, I grab it, and then I
yeah.
flip him over like that. He wanted me to really like give him everything I got to flip him over, and then he would kind of jump with it to really
Yeah.
sell that
Yeah.
whole piece. So when you're in the middle of doing things like that, the last thing you're thinking about is what you're wearing. You just want to make sure you're not going to break anyone's neck. Um, yeah, but it was great. I don't know. I got really into it.
Oh, I know it's fun. We're guys. Come on, Chris. I would
Yeah.
love to. It'd be fun to do. To get paid to have an action scene. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So fun. And for this show to have like a knife and a gun and gun
Yeah,
safety and stunts and a dog, like it was just so cool.
And the
it
other
was.
thing too that's really great about that scene, it shows that Nora is also quite capable of
Yes,
holding her own, and that like it. I really love it because it's another highlight of how they need each other.
Yeah.
Right? It shows how they need each other and they work well together.
I agree
Yeah.
with that because it was funny because when she went inside, she's like, "I'm going inside." I'm like, "Bye," and she went inside. But then, like, there's a dog comes down the stairs. I'm like, "Uh-oh, a dog!" And we love dogs, of course. And
Yes.
Rufus is so cute. A nice twist, of course. And like, "Oh my god, the dog is Rufus Shepherd," haha, kind of thing. But it's
Yeah.
fun. It was like you were ready to work it out too. Like you're like knife, like good, and you're calling it out. I was laughing. I was like, "Yeah, they're throwing everything at him right now." I was like, just about this little scene. And
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun and yeah, they're a good duo together, which is awesome.
well, the thing is, we saw, we have the meet cute kind of thing happen, of course, and then but they give Michael the sense of humor stuff. Like you're not this button up Mountie. Like you have this kind of sense of humor about you. And when we laughed those first couple episodes when you did get bit by the snake, it wasn't the first time apparently. Like it wasn't the first time. And you and Maggie kind of have this kind of funny, like, you're back again, like what's going on now, like
Yeah.
kind of thing. So that was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of fun.
Yeah. No, I love that. I'll be honest, but I didn't quite realize how that was gonna come across. Because like I said, I was just for me, if I hadn't seen the show, then my memory of that is I was just Michael Fletcher in 1920 just being Michael Fletcher in 1920. But then when I watch it and I see how that relates to Nora or to Maggie or to Ronnie, um, it turned out that it's a lot of fun. It's a lot more fun than I even anticipated.
Seeing all the pieces come together,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
and the energy between the characters is just like really vibrant in the show, which I think is so incredible and kind of unexpected, but it just goes to show how incredible the writing is, and the actors and everyone that helped put it together.
I want to ask you, Cindy, because you're playing a role, and luckily for this show, they show strong women on the show, and because you're taking the reins, you're like, I'm gonna, this is my your card.
Literally.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
literally,
literally and
literally.
figuratively.
Yeah, so you're taking the reins. You're like, this is
Yeah,
my part. I'm gonna take it.
that's
Um,
right.
you're coming with me. So that must have been a lot of fun. When you were in charge, you were in charge. The character was in charge.
Totally. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, for Nora Anderson, first of all, to be a lawyer in 1920 is like a massive thing. There was literally less than 1% of lawyers at the time were women. So that in and of itself was huge, and just goes to show you her strength, her perseverance, her trailblazing ways. But, and you kind of had to do to be a woman in that that category, you kind of had to be those things, while also, and this is the part I love about this character, is that she has such a like a softness to her, a kindness, a caring, a heart of gold that just wants to help people. And like right away when she comes to town, she's like helping Sam, she's helping the kids, she's helping Hannah. Like, it's a really beautiful thing where, she doesn't have family anymore, so she creates a family in Brookfield. And I think that's what's cool about Brookfield. It's all these people coming together in this town that are like making their way. Like Brookfield is a place where people come and like find community and become the best version of themselves.
It's like it's a town of strays, if you want to look
Yeah,
like that, because
yeah,
everyone's
totally.
coming from somewhere else,
Yeah,
looking for a fresh start. Right? Even with Sarah's character, Hannah,
yeah.
just lost her uncle. She's come from what was it, St. Louis?
Yes,
Like,
it was.
yeah, and then you got Nick's character who he's got
Just
no family. He's
yeah,
just been a
strange.
rancher, and you got Ronnie and all Maggie. Like she has family, but they're from England. They've got their own path. Like
Yeah.
everyone's come from somewhere else. Same with Sam, like the a gold digger.
Like,
I ain't
literally,
saying gold
literally.
digger, but
You gotta-
but put one on TV.
Yeah, but yeah,
hilarious. But you're right, Chris. I didn't really thought about it before in a way. The show's about orphans, but you're
Yeah,
all kind of orphans.
we
exactly
really
right.
are. We really are.
Exactly
Yeah.
right.
It's really it's really cool when you start to like unpack it like that.
Yeah.
Um, and it's so relatable because I think so many of us nowadays are like that. We're either, actual orphans, or we've moved away from home, or we're making our own families,
Yeah.
with the people that like with our friends and it's really beautiful. And we can all come together and watch the show, which is amazing, and everyone can watch the show.
That's true. I might watch the show. But I think just Christopher said when you said that, I'm like, now it's really
Yeah.
hit me. Like now I'm starting to think about all of them. Like, oh my goodness, now that you're absolutely right. It's all about the everybody's an orphan, basically, kind of
Yeah.
finding their way of making their chosen family.
Totally.
Which is very interesting because like you said, we saw a piece of family the first couple episodes. It was kind of, I want to ask you, Sydney, I felt like it was kind of Megan was basically the actress was passing it on to you, Cindy kind of saying, "Here you go." Did it feel that way at all to you? It was like kind of like this is yours now, so to speak.
Yeah, you mean like for the Lillian character,
Yeah, for Lillian, yeah,
my
because
niece,
yeah,
yeah. So yeah, absolutely. It's like it's a passing of the torch, so to speak, of like, she obviously was in season one, and there's a lot of time between that season and this season, and now there's new characters that are taking over, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And there's a really beautiful resolve in the storylines that people were initially attached to, and now there's new ones they're attaching themselves to. And I think they've done such a beautiful job of transferring that and
I agree.
not ignoring what was. And we're so lucky to have so many characters returning that people loved before. And if you never watched the show before, it doesn't matter because it's a new chapter, it's a new legacy, and and I think Alfonso Marino, who's our showrunner,
No hint.
uh, producer, he's done such a beautiful job at creating this world and these stories, along with the other writers too. And yeah, it was really great to get to work with Morgan, who's, such a talent and has a great show of her own now, and getting to work together and then say goodbye. It was interesting because the first two episodes for me, yes, I'm the lead of the show, but it didn't necessarily feel that way at first.
Yeah,
And then when episode 3 and 4 happened, when Chris and I go on this adventure in the show, suddenly it felt like, okay, this is our story now. Like this is our show and we're doing this. And it was the first time it felt real for me, that this was like our show now, which was really cool.
I agree. They did a wonderfully seamless job. I mean, seriously, kudos to the writers, producers, all of you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I'm hooked. I'm still hooked. I like season one, and everything, but I'm still hooked on the show.
Yeah.
And it's one of those shows that kind of just it's like it's very pleasant. You're like, okay, I had a good hour. Nice hour of television. Well,
Yeah, totally.
it's like but it's like it's like about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever. I enjoyed every minute. That's what I'm trying to say.
Totally. And there's nothing boring about it. It's just like fast paced and there's drama and action and hilarious moments thanks to Ronnie and all of us really. And then there's the love aspect. So it's really got everything you might want in a show. Yeah.
And what really stood out to me is that none of it feels, for lack of a better descriptor, forced.
Nope.
Like it seems very natural how all these pieces sort of come together and the
Yeah.
flow of the show, and it just feels genuine. And I think that could be attributed to the fact that, so far as I could tell, everybody working on that show, cast and crew included, were really excited about being there
Yeah.
in the most helpful and positive way possible.
Yeah.
Like they cared. Everybody cared about whatever it was they were there to do, and I think that really translates onto the screen.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I mean, again, I mean, it was so seamless. It was just wonderful. Like, yeah, now we got a new chapter of the show, and we're really
Yeah.
following you guys. And
Yeah.
I have to ask you, Cindy. You always say don't work with animals or children. You got both, and Christopher too. You got both. You guys got both. So what? I mean, the kids are exceptional. I mean, these actors are so good. So can you tell us any little? I mean, all of them. I mean, even the girl who played Jenny slash Dolores. Great twist, folks. By the way, great twist.
Yes, it was so good.
So I mean, they're all so good. So I mean, what was it like working with the kidlets?
Oh, I mean, I loved every second of it. It was, it's equal parts exciting, hilarious because kids have so much energy and like Chris Russell knows he's got two of his own. I mean, they have so much energy and you're like, where are you getting this energy? And meanwhile, I'm like, did I ever have this much energy? Like you kind of forget as you get older. You're like, wait, did I ever? Um, but then, the like 8 p.m. o'clock hour hits, and then they start like staring at the wall, and you're like, oh yeah, no, they're tired now. So, but it was truly amazing. Like we've got 6 kids on this show, ranging from ages 7 to 13, and these are kids who are doing an adult job and they're doing it so well and it's hard. There's so many moving pieces they've got lines and they've got props and they've got action and all the things, but they do such a beautiful job and I love it. But there are moments where I remember we have a pillow fight scene in one of the episodes and they're like, okay, and action, and they're hitting each other, and then I walk into the scene, and they were supposed to say a line and none of the kids were saying their lines. And then I was like, guys, I'm here. But they just got so wrapped up in a pillow fight that they forgot they were on set in a scene needing to say their lines. And so the director was like, hey guys, Ashton, Austin, Luke, like let's go. Like we gotta, and it just goes to show you how present they are. And that's my favorite part about kids is you throw them something and they're in it and it's real and it's now and like there's so much to learn from the joy of children and their presence. And I feel the same exact way about animals. It's like they're present, they're in the moment, and sometimes they're gonna want to do what they want to do, and sometimes they're gonna pee right in the middle of a take and they don't care. It's just gonna happen. And I mean I'm obsessed with animals. I love kids so much. So to me, I know that's the saying, don't work with kids, don't work with animals, but I completely disagree. I think they're amazing and I love every second of it.
I
Well,
like
to
that.
your point, it's like they're going to do what they're going to do. They're so
Yeah.
present. I only had a couple scenes with the kids, so I didn't get the full experience of what they had to offer so far as pillow fights not ending. But with the animals,
Yes.
I mean, you got to roll with it. They're going to do what they're going to do, and you can
Yeah.
either get kind of flustered and, forget what you're doing in a negative way, or you can just incorporate whatever they're bringing to the table that day and hope for the best. And I actually found it just made it feel more authentic for me. Um,
Totally.
like even like little things that you probably wouldn't notice as a viewer, but when I'm coming out of the barn in episode 3 after tying up my horse before we get on the wagon and Nora takes the reins, Ollie, my horse, when I tied him up, every time before we did that, he'd be spinning around in circles going like this with his hooves.
Stomping and
So I
yeah.
had to keep
Huh?
pushing his butt and keep pushing him in. And you can see as I'm walking out, he's trying to do it again and his butt's coming towards me. I just push it as I keep walking, but I keep talking to Nora. But it just added that little piece of realism to the
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah.
If
Totally.
I didn't do that, he's gonna knock me over because he
Yeah.
doesn't want to be tied up. He wants to go running.
Yeah.
I would say you
Totally.
have the horses. I love horses. I'm a big equine person. I like
Oh
horses
yeah.
and stuff. But yeah, you have the horses. They're dealing with all the energy of you guys, camera
Yes.
people, whatever. Because as you know, horses are very sensitive to energy.
Very sensitive. Yeah.
Very
Yeah, and
sensitive.
if a crew member pops an umbrella right beside their face,
Woo!
they
They
don't
do
like
not,
that.
yeah, yeah, they're really sensitive to like plastic bags, umbrellas, like anything that pop. I mean, it's understandable. They're like, what is that? Like, what, you know? And
Yes.
and truth be told, it is a very bizarre invention that's quite helpful for us. But yeah, no, they're so energy driven, and when people are stressed out, or it's not on your schedule, it's on the animal schedule, and you have to really respect that and respect, how you're doing things constantly. Like we have a baby horse, we have a foal in the show, and Sugar, and
Oh
uh,
yeah.
that when that horse came on set, everyone had to be quiet, no big movements, like because it was so young, it was like 6 months old. It was like freaked out by everything. And so that was a really cool thing too, that yeah, just animals are just the best.
They are. I love that. I love animals. So I do. I love all animals.
Yeah.
If I could have a farm in LA, I would have one. I mean, if I could.
Oh yeah. Well, you can. It'll just cost you $100 million.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, I have a nice yard and everything right now, but I'm like, if I could add some
Yeah.
animals to it
Yeah.
besides dogs, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Um,
Totally.
oh, you can do that. So for both of you guys, how did the show come to your orbit? Was it agents gave it to you? Did you just know people? Like, how did it come to your orbit?
You want to go first, Cindy?
Yeah, go
You
first.
go.
Go first.
Well, I've been on the network, Great American Family before, for their Christmas countdown. I've done a few Christmas movies for them. Um, and then yeah, I guess the breakdown for the character came down. I said, oh, they're doing this again. So I already knew Bill Abbott, who is the CEO
Okay,
of
hey, Bill.
Yeah.
Great American Family.
Yeah.
just from the Christmas movies and his time at Hallmark. So I put myself on tape, it's called these days, which is my
Yes.
audition because I wanted them to see how I'd play this character because it's a lot different than a modern day Christmas movie.
Hmm.
And I remember at the time I had actually had a pretty big beard.
Oh.
So definitely a lot different than the Michael Fletcher you see
Oh,
now.
wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
But so I did that, and then not gonna lie, I sent Bill an email and said, I really, really, really think I can do a great job on this
Oh,
show.
that's
I would,
awesome.
I would, I don't know if you're gonna see this tape, but I've sent one out. So if you get a chance, take a look. And then a month later, I got the call.
Yeah.
Bill's a nice guy. Bill's a nice guy. I know. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to advocate for yourself, right? Because there's so many
Yeah.
people, um, I don't want to use the word fighting, but they're
Right.
fighting for these jobs. So
Yeah.
if you want someone to take a look at it, you sometimes you have to really remind them to
And
Yeah.
take.
And
it
you
was a
use the
role. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and because you have a prior relationship, like why not, you know?
Yeah. So that's how it came to be for me.
Hmm.
And it's a role that you want. Because I mean, as actors, you may go for a role and then get another one. Like you
Yeah.
may
Yeah.
go for that and go, we want you in this one instead. Like you went for a role you thought you might like and you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I tested for When Calls the Heart years ago with Aaron Krakow.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, for the Mountie Nathan.
Oh
And
wow. Okay.
then that was when Alfonso was the showrunner of
Yeah.
When Calls the
That's when I
Heart.
met him.
Oh,
That's when
cool. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
when I met
Yeah.
him.
And
Yeah.
so I missed that one. But ever since then, I was like, if there's another opportunity to be a Mountie, it has to be mine. So
Yeah.
And
here
it
we
is.
are.
And it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how
Yeah.
that works. I love that. And Miss Cindy, how did for you? What was for you?
Yeah, so similar to Chris, I've known Bill for a very, very long time, back from being on the Hallmark Channel, and I got this audition back in beginning of August of last year, 2024, and at the time, life was very busy, and I just couldn't manage to do the audition, and so I just turned it down. Sorry, I can't put this on tape right now. And then it came back into my world like maybe 2 or 3 weeks later. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'll put this on tape. Great. And so I did. And then I found out a week later that I got it. And it was kind of one of those things where I guess it was kind of meant to be. And then, so fun fact, Chris and I, we didn't touch on this in this interview, but we've done 4 movies together before this
Oh
show.
my goodness.
So we've known each other for 10 years. And so he found out that I was potentially going to be playing Nora. And so he sent me this like cryptic text message being like, hey, wouldn't it be like, how are you? And I was like, I'm good. How are you? And, we text each other once
Yeah.
in a blue moon and check in and say hi. But like, he texted me like out of the blue and is like, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. How are you? And he's like, good. It would be so cool to work together again. I was like, yeah, like that would be amazing. Like, how do we make that happen? He's like, yeah, like we should work together soon. And I was like, yeah, okay. And he's like, no, like really soon. Like it'd be so great if we could work together soon. And I was like, what? And it like all dawned on me. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I was like texting. And meanwhile, and I was like talking to my husband, and I was like, I think Chris Russell is like going to be playing in the show, and I think he's going to be the Mountie. And like it was all, and then we told each other, okay, like let me know when your deal's done, and you let me know when your deal's done, and then we did, and we were like, and getting to work anytime with a good friend is like the best thing ever. Plus, because we have such a great working relationship together and we always have a great time. And then to be on a series together, it's like literally the best thing ever.
Yes.
So that's how that came.
Yeah, so with the meant to be, I mean, you can go onto a show and you can get along with your your leading lady right away, or you cannot, and then you got to work really extra hard to make it look like you are on camera.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that on a series, and then to have someone you are familiar with, you've worked with enough times to develop a rapport where you feel, for lack of a better word, safe around them to kind of just go for it, and it'll probably work out because your scene partner will pick up what you put down, will read what you write.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like the best possible outcome, I think, for a show like this to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you're taking the reins, huh? See what I did there?
So you
Hey,
did there. I saw what you
fully
did there.
here.
From the cast of season one, but then to come in and already have that rapport and to just like hit the ground running and not have to find your footing, like yeah, like Cindy and I, Nora and Michael we're already there. You know what I mean? Like the characters are
Yeah.
they're already there. The chemistry's there. It was a really great surprise to find out that Cindy was going to be on this show.
This is the best.
That's a
Best
great.
surprise.
Well, we're gonna end it on that. That's a great story. I'm gonna end it there because I love it.
Yes.
And you, I mean, both thank you both for your time for being on my show.
Oh,
I love it.
thank
You have to come
you.
back anytime. Come back anytime. You get to come back.
Let's do it for sure. You're
Thanks for
awesome.
having us.
Yeah, James, this was great.
Thank you. So yeah, Cindy Busby, Christopher Russell. Go ahead because when Hope Calls will still be streaming. I go to PureFlix, folks. That's where I see it. There's many
Yeah.
places you can go see it. I'll put it in the description where you can go see it in different places. But I go to PureFlix to watch it, and it's great. And it's wonderful. And it'll still be streaming. So if you missed some of the episodes, want to rewatch the season, you can and see these two do their beautiful work on the show. Of course. And I just want to say thank you to GAC for having everybody, the whole teams, all the teams, everyone out there who follows my show. I do the after show, of course. I talk about every episode. I did season one. I did season two. So check those out too for my reaction and talk to me. Let's talk together, hopefuls, and tell each other what we think. We need more programming like this on our screens. I agree that just wholeheartedly. I'm James Lott Jr. This is the When Hope Calls After Show. We'll see you next time.